Good evening. Welcome to Journey with Janine. Again, tonight I have Nita Stewart on our show. We just did a show previously that you need to check out because it talks about young living oils and Miracle 2, different things that are natural healing. And tonight we have Nita on and we're going to be talking about her organic farming. She has a greenhouse she's been growing for years. She needs to write a book. She's got a computer chip for her brain. If there's anything you want to know, she knows. Hey, welcome to the show, computer chip. Nita. Oh my God, I'm just so impressed with this woman.
I've never been called a computer chip before.
Oh well, I say that to people that I think that have that type of genius. You know, they can resource things spontaneously like that. Well, anyway, we had talked about Nita and her journey, and so you kind of got into organics. What age?
Oh, I don't know. When I learned and realized that chemicals were toxic and caused all kinds of problems with our earth and us, I decided I didn't need that in my life. Mm-hmm. You know, so I started learning what to do instead of using chemicals. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you have to learn to live with things. And then I started learning more about plants and the bacteria in the ground and the fungi in the ground and all that. And like dandelions, like, why did we want to get rid of dandelions? Whatever programmed us to want to kill dandelions with something that's toxic to us and our planet?
Yeah, true.
Where did that come from?
So what age did, I got to start with, what age did you finally go, aha?
I don't know, maybe I was in my 30s or 40s or something like that. I mean, I didn't use very many chemicals, but I remember at one time I was out squirting individual dandelions with chemical, and I go barefooted all the time. And when I found out about it, I'm walking on that stuff. And I understood that somebody was spraying a yard and sprayed a dog and killed the dog with the chemicals he sprayed at it. You know, so it can be really, really toxic to some people and not so toxic to others.
Well, that Roundup, there's all kinds of people getting cancer from that now.
Oh, I know.
The attorneys are on Facebook all the time. Contact us, you know.
I know.
So
I
yeah,
know.
I haven't used.
I know.
That
I even
got
in quite a heated discussion with my husband about spraying the yard for weeds with things like that. And I said, well, I'm not going to live here anymore. Sorry, if you're going to spray, because I go barefooted. And if you want to poison me, I'm leaving.
Well, obviously he stopped.
Yeah, he finally got the message. But some people are you kind of, you know, I want everything to look really pretty. Well, why do we want everything to look monoculture grass? Why don't we want dandelions and other pretty flowers and clover and all these pretty things growing, just grass? We were programmed by companies that made that stuff. What will your neighbors think if you have dandelions in your yard?
Yeah, I agree.
So anyway, I found out later that dandelions and dandelion root actually detox our liver if we take them internally, steep them in tea. They help to clean our bodies out when the other stuff is poisoning our bodies and our liver.
So what part of the dandelion, do you take the yellow part? Is that the one you make tea out of?
No, you dry the roots. You dig them up and scrub the roots off and dehydrate them.
So you don't use the leaves? I thought you used the leaves for salads and stuff.
Yes. Yeah.
So you could make tea out of the leaves.
Yes, you can.
But not the yellow part.
But for a detox, you use the roots.
Okay.
It's stronger. Eat the leaves for salads. They're really quite good. They taste as good as any lettuce. They really, in the spring, you know, when they're nice and fresh. Now, and eat the dandelion stems too in the spring. One of the herbalists.
The stems?
Yeah, 3 stems a day in the spring. 3 to 5 stems a day. They don't taste that good, but just the stem.
Put a little honey on them.
That's a nice tonic in the springtime. Okay.
So what do you do with the yellow part? I thought that's what you make.
Make wine.
That's, yes, I knew you used it for something Dandelion wine, and it's good.
Yeah, you don't use any of the green part in wine, just the yellow.
Just the yellow.
Yeah.
Well, let's try that this year.
We could, I've never made dandelion wine. No.
Wouldn't that be fun?
Yeah.
All right, let's try that. So basically, you can use every part of the dandelion. You can eat the leaves, you can eat the stem, and you can eat the roots. Or
We'll use them for tea. You could eat them too,
what?
the roots.
The tea is better.
Well, yeah, and you dehydrate it and store it if you want. You can make fresh tea out of the roots if you want. I just dehydrate it and store it. You can make a tincture out of it if you wanted to, and have dandelion root tincture.
Now, this is something I wanted to know about. When you make a tincture, you take vodka, right?
Not necessarily.
Well, that sounds good to me. You
But
take,
alcohol.
then you take a swig every time
Wouldn't
you
you
fill your
prefer
tincture.
brandy?
I'm just kidding. What?
Would you prefer brandy?
Oh, you can make it with brandy?
Oh, sure.
I didn't know. I thought it had to be vodka.
Or Everclear. No, no. You can use alcohol. They use alcohol to extract, but if you're not supposed to drink alcohol, they will also extract with water sometimes and glycerin sometimes, and you just get more of all the ingredients, all the compounds out of the plant from using alcohol.
I see. So what's glycerin?
It's something that is slippery, and I'm not really sure where it comes from, but they use glycerin to extract.
I see.
I'm not. I
But
don't know.
alcohol's the best, see?
The alcohol is still the best. And then you don't drink it. What do you take? 4 drops.
I know. It's a tincture.
And it's
right.
quite strong. So, yeah, you can make your own tinctures, any of them.
That'd be fun to do. What? Gosh, I wish I had. I will have time.
You can make your own homeopathic remedies also.
Now, how do you do that?
Well, you start with 1 drop
Of what?
of whatever you have. Say, we're doing dandelion.
Okay.
Okay, homeopathic dandelion.
Okay.
They don't call it that, actually. Okay, so you take 1 drop of a dandelion tincture,
Okay.
extract, and you dilute it with 100 drops of pure water.
Yeah.
Okay, that's 1 strength, homeopathic. Now you take 1 drop of that and dilute it with 100 more drops of water. That's double strength, 2 times.
Mm-hmm.
Every time you do that, you come up another strength. Every time you dilute it by 100 times of water with 1 drop of what you had, the dilutions get weaker and weaker and weaker and weaker, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it actually is making a stronger homeopathic remedy. Wrap around that one.
Okay, so you're talking. Hold on a second. You're talking 1 drop of the dandelion tincture to 100 drops of the water.
Of
the same
water.
drop.
Yeah,
But
same-
100 drops.
Yeah, same size drop.
But the more you do it, the stronger and more powerful it is.
The more times you dilute it down, the more powerful it is.
Why is that?
Higher energy, I don't understand. You're getting rid of the substance, the physical substance out of it, and what have you got left? Energy. Energy. And that
That's really-
energy works on your body, whether it has a lot of dandelion in it or not, the physical dandelion.
Yeah.
Every time you're diluting down, you still have a stronger energy and a stronger energy. So 1,000 times you've done that. You buy 1,000 strength. It works on a very high level.
Boy, we're going to have a lot of fun between drinking the vodka and doing then making the tinctures.
When I was in Dowser's meeting once, we learned to make a tincture from your own saliva for you. This is just for you. A homeopathic remedy, not a tincture, just for you. You take a drop of your saliva, dilute it 100 drops. Take a drop of that, dilute it with 100 drops, and onward up to as many times as you want to dilute it down. That makes a homeopathic remedy just for whatever you need.
In your body.
For you,
Now, that's kind of like urine therapy.
I think.
Yeah, because your urine
You could
has
do
all
that.
your antibodies
you,
in it.
You could do that with your urine also. 1 drop of urine to 100 drops of water, 1 drop of that dilution to 100 drops of water, and onward if you wanted.
And make a tincture out of
See,
it.
there would be no physical urine in it anymore.
No.
You just have the energy. And that's what homeopathic remedies work on. They work on energy. They don't work on taking a lot of physical stuff.
Well, that's what acupuncture is. It's about opening meridians and energy blockages in the body. And since everything's made out of atoms, everything is energy.
That's it.
Bingo.
So this is all organic. So I learned about all this stuff that you can do organically. Grow your food in good, clean soil. You know, you've got to have a lot of good bacteria and a lot of good fungi in the ground and a lot of good humus to grow good food.
But I remember you use horse manure.
Well, horses got to move too.
But that's a fertilizer because of well, I've heard, who was it?
Composted too.
Tanner was telling me some animals eat their feces because of the food in it.
My dog used to love to eat rabbit pellets.
Well, see, there's something, so there's still nutrition in
Yes,
it. So
there is.
there, you know, but with like horse manure, when you put it in the ground, it's about the energy it creates. Is that right?
Creates a good energy, but it also has nutrients.
Yeah.
You know, it has bacteria, it has fungi, it has nutrients, because a horse doesn't digest completely everything.
Yeah. Well, you go to the Amish to get yours, so it's not horses that are fed with all the.
No, I don't use horse manure that's fed with a bunch of chemicals.
Yeah.
And it's composted for a while too. Composting does a lot to get rid of chemicals.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's great to use chemical fertilizers.
Right.
A lot of people just use plant fertilizers too. You know, where I do, I use everything in the garden goes back into the garden. Lots and lots of plants.
Recycle it.
I try to feed those worms really well.
Well, that's what my brother said, being he was an organic farmer, and he said he calls the soil pregnant when it has living organisms. And the farmers are putting those chemicals on, killing the living organisms, so the plants have no minerals and things in them that, unless they're organic, to feed the body, and that's why everybody's getting sick.
You won't find any worms in those farm fields that use a lot of chemicals either. No, and you won't find mycorrhizal fungi. You dig up ground, you should see worms, you should see mycorrhizal fungi, you should see all this wonderful biological stuff.
Living.
Yes, living stuff. That's why people lie down on the ground. That's why they do grounding.
Yeah, we should talk about that.
To heal the body. Don't know a lot about it,
Don't
but
you?
going barefooted makes a big difference too.
No, this guy actually did that. He was
Yes.
sick, and they gave him so long to live, and he put a metal thing, because he was a scientist, biologist of some kind. Put something in the ground, took the wire into his bed, copper, because copper's a conduit, and started sleeping on it, and it healed his body, because the energy was going through the copper, feeding his body.
And you can buy grounding devices that you stick in the ground outside, like a ground wire, and it's connected to a mat you put your feet on. And it's bringing you the energy of the earth through the mat your feet
I
are
gotta
on.
get one
you
of
can buy
those.
pillows. You can buy mats that are made out of this. Just Google grounding.
Well, I just
Grounding
bought
devices.
a silk pillow,
Oh, okay.
because I was reading about how silk doesn't take the moisture out of your skin. It doesn't make you wrinkle as fast, because, if there's, like I like feather pillows, you know how they get bugs in them? Or not bugs, what do they get? Something.
Mites.
Mites or something. They can't get mites in them if they have a silk pillowcase. But dang, they're like $100.
And you can also wash your down pillows in the washing machine.
Yeah, but I mean, they take forever to dry with
They
all
do.
the feathers.
Threw a couple
and
tennis
then they
shoes
stink
in
too.
Oh, no, they shouldn't.
Oh,
Oh,
it smells like a bird that they just dip in the. I was raised on a farm. When they were butchering birds, they dip them in that hot water to pluck the feathers. Oh my God! I washed one once and smelled that, and no, never again.
that was
bad.
feather not down. I don't know. I wash them. I wash them in natural soap. I use vinegar in the rinse water, and I dry them well, and mine don't smell bad. They don't smell like that.
Well, I'll just buy the silk pillowcases.
There you go. Buy silk pillowcases. Go lay down on the ground and heal
it does.
yourself.
This woman had skin diseases and they couldn't figure it out, and she got silk pillowcases, and it literally heals your skin.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Well, that's a new one.
See, another good thing for worms.
Yep.
They make silk. I always love those worms. I actually have compost worms now, red wigglers. I have bins of compost worms I'm playing with. I like playing with my worms. It's fun.
Yeah, well, I remember taking my kids fishing, and they were like 5 and 6 and 7 and 8. And I go, you have to put your own worm on. I couldn't do it. I couldn't touch them. These poor little kids are trying to put a worm on a hook. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, Mom.
Okay, so what all do you grow in your garden, and why do you set your garden up the way you set it up?
I don't set it up.
Don't you put certain things around it to keep animals out or whatever?
I've got electric wire around it. That's for some deer. But around the bottom, about 4 inches off the ground, I have an electric wire that's run by a little solar collector. And that's to keep the gophers, groundhogs, from digging under, because they love vegetables and tomatoes and whatnot. So just electric wire around the fence, solar collector, that works good. And then you can use fishing line all the way around your garden, about every foot, up to about 7 foot, to keep deer out. I have a rabbit wire.
Can't deer jump over 7 foot though?
What's it? 2 foot tall chicken wire for rabbits.
Okay.
Rabbits go through rabbit fencing. I've watched them jump up and wiggle right through rabbit fencing because it's smaller at the bottom, and as it gets higher, it's bigger, and they just jump up and go through it. So use chicken wire for rabbit fencing, and then, up above that, run your lines around it, or put a high 7-foot fence up if you need to keep deer out, because they definitely like jumping over things that are under 7 foot.
So do you use any flowers or garlic or any of that kind of stuff for stuff?
Oh, lots of flowers to attract beneficial insects.
Okay.
So you can Google, what attracts beneficial insects, and you grow all these beautiful flowers for butterflies, for pollinators. You need insects to pollinate your plants, and we need more of them because we have lost so many in this world. Like, I think 40% of our pollinators are gone.
So what do you use for plants for that?
All kinds of natural, local wild plants. Not the kinds that comes from other countries. Our pollinators don't know what they are.
Right.
So you need to get plants that are from our area, like milkweed for butterflies. Milkweeds. And the local milkweeds. Don't buy some fancy milkweed that comes from some other country.
Yeah.
They need to be recognized.
Huh. Don't worry, that's just my phone going off.
see.
Keeps buzzing.
Oh, so yeah, all kind. You could, I could list a whole bunch of them if I could remember them. So
But you had that one that has all those little flowers that I got from you. What's the one that grows real tall and it's got little flowers? It's for butterflies.
Oh, zinnia.
Well, zinnia. I love the smell of zinnias.
And that's not really a native flower, but they love them. Butterflies love zinnias, and I like them around my garden.
And flock. I get hummingbirds and those moths that look like hummingbirds.
Phlox love it.
And they grow from like summer clear through the fall. They keep. I love.
There's
flock.
a lot of wild phlox, and it smells so
Oh, it's beautiful.
good. I love it. Marigolds are a great one to help keep bugs away from certain plants. There's a lot of things you can do. Plant this plant next to this plant next to this plant to help keep bugs away from your plants. So that's called companion planting. So Google companion planting. There's a lot to know there. Okay, I get all these bugs on my plant. What can I plant next to it that help keep those bugs away? And it's like plant radishes with beans, because radishes are good at helping distract certain bugs from beans. You get bugs on your potatoes. There's things you can plant next to your potatoes to help keep bugs away.
Now, excuse me. I noticed in your garden that like you create these things that go up in the air so everything climbs up, and even your tomato plants. Explain that. That's pretty cool.
Oh, I just use 4 foot. Not 4 foot. Maybe it's 6-inch rewire, and they lay it on the ground and they pour concrete on it so concrete don't split apart. But this 4-inch rewire, and it's 6 foot, 5 foot, 6 foot. I don't know how.
I know, it's
and
tough.
and you just take these re-rod and weave it through and pound the re-rod in the ground, and you have these wonderful trellises that you can have anything climb. I have my beans climb it, my peas climb it, the tomatoes climb it. You just feed your tomato vines through it, and you don't have to tie them or stake them. And you can move those around year to year because you need to alternate your planting. In other words, if you're going to plant tomatoes here, you don't want to come back to that area to plant tomatoes for 3 years. Best 4, but
3 years? I didn't know that.
3 years, and that keeps a certain disease at bay. And matter of fact, not just tomatoes, all nightshade plants you don't plant there. which are tomatoes and peppers and eggplant, and no nightshades there for 3 or 4 years.
God, no wonder mine aren't growing anymore.
You probably just
But
need
remember
more
that
worms.
tomato plant I planted this year that you gave me?
Oh my.
Oh my God, we have a fence up. It was up through the fence, over the fence. It was probably, what, 7 feet wide?
Probably wider than that.
And came out. I've never seen, but they were, what were those tomatoes? Oh my God, they were so good.
Which kind did you
Those
get?
little yellow ones.
Were they yellow?
And remember you said you couldn't believe how big they got because they were like that big?
I don't know which ones you got.
Yeah, it was the little yellow ones, and they're sweet and all.
I planted 35 types of tomatoes and 6 or
Oh my
7
God.
types of cherry tomatoes. And who knows, because I do grow all organic and heirloom tomatoes. So I don't grow hybrids. You can save the seeds out of heirloom tomatoes and have the same plant grow back. Instead of hybrids, you really
So
you
yeah,
can't
she
be
saves
sure.
the seeds. That is so cool.
You can't be sure you're going to get the same plant if you save the seed from a hybrid. You have 25% chance the first year of getting the same plant. 25% chance.
Wow.
Because it's been pollinated by somebody else. The seed you're collecting is not that same plant.
So where do you buy your seeds so people would know?
Oh, I get seeds from Botanical Interests, from Seed Savers Exchange, any place that sells organic that I like. There's
One in Dubuque or
one in Maine that I really like too.
one up north. What's that one that you go
Oh, that's Seed Savers.
to? That's Seed Savers.
Seed
You
Savers.
can actually go there and buy them right there.
Oh yeah, it's north of Decorah. They have a wonderful big area, and yes, you can. They sell wonderfully, and they also have a great conference in the summer, July. I think it's the end of July. Or maybe it's August. But you can go to their 3-day conference and learn all kinds of stuff. How to save seeds, how to graft fruit trees, tons of different things.
Oh gosh, it's so fun and interesting. I can't wait till I have more time to putty with that, you know, putsy with that, as they say.
And anybody can grow something. You don't need any colors of thumbs, blue, red, green, or whatever. You just have to watch and listen and look at plants.
Well, I think if you talk to them and you send them love, they grow better.
That's it. You're looking at them. You're
Yeah,
paying attention
I'm giving
to
them energy.
Yeah, exactly.
Because, you know, with Reiki, you know how you do Reiki has energy. You put that over the plant. I remember I planted this apple tree at my house, and it was sliced where it could grow 4 different kinds of apples. I never got an apple off of it because I moved. But that tree is taller than my 2-story house.
Did all the grafts continue?
And it's humongous. Yeah. And it's taller than my I've never seen an apple tree that big. I'll have to take you by it.
Wow.
It's amazing. But we are getting to the end of the show. Nita, thank you. You're such a sweetheart. That was so much fun.
Thank you for having me here. It was so fun.
Yeah, I told you. It's fun. And thank you for watching the show. See you next time.
Oh, wait a minute.
What?
If you can give them my email or telephone number if they want to contact me for organic fruits or vegetables.
Okay, well, you're going to have to do that real
Oh,
quick.
okay. Phone number 319-233-7387.
And it's on the screen right there.
There you go. Email is there, luv49yoga@gmail.com. If you want to get a hold of me for any reason, ask questions. I love to answer
Or
questions.
the oils. I mean, she could start up doing an oil thing once a week because I have some friends that want to learn more about
That's all
it
they
too.
have to do is tell me they're coming for sure, and I'll do it.
That's right. All right. Sounds good, sweetie.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us.